Morocco has recently extended its restrictions to the 10th of June. Until that date, people's freedom of movement is restricted to the area in which they live, unless they have good reason to travel farther. There's an obligation to wear face masks outside and a curfew from 6 p.m. each evening, although this has been reduced by 1 hour to 7 p.m. during Ramadan, which ends about the 24th of May. This extension comes at a time when Morocco is maintaining its success at controlling the spread of the virus. May the 10th saw the highest number of active cases in Morocco, reaching 3,321. Active cases are the cases where people have not yet recovered or died from the virus. Every day from May the 10th, there has been a steady decline in that number. As of today, this is the number of active cases. This represents the lowest number of active cases since the third week of April. The number of deaths each day is very low in Morocco, often only 2 or 3 deaths. Some days, Morocco enjoys 0 deaths from Covid-19. Globally, the death rate is 6.5%. Morocco's rate of 2.7% is very impressive, as is its recovery rate, currently standing at 57.3% compared to the global average of 39.4%. The UK government doesn't provide percentage data. The Moroccan government's success brings the problem of mixed messages. On the one hand, there is the good news about the control of the virus spread. But with that message comes what seems like an opposing message, that the lockdown needs to continue. Despite the continued restrictions, there are increasingly more vehicles and people in the streets in the hours before the curfew than they were even a couple of weeks ago. In Casablanca, one of the country's COVID hotspots, significant numbers of people defy the restrictions. In the early days of the lockdown, many Moroccans predicted that things would not start to go back to normal until June. It seems they have been proven correct. But normality is not expected to return fully in June. There is no talk about when cafes, bars and restaurants will reopen. All schools will remain closed until September. I have not been able to find the number of active cases in the UK. Despite a very detailed weekly report that has a lot of information, such as the ethnicity of patients and even the Google searches associated with the virus, there seems to be no released data for the number of active cases. All we can do, therefore, is compare the death rates and the daily cases rates. As of today, these are the number of total cases, including deaths and new cases, in the UK and Morocco. Today is day 82 of the virus being in Morocco. When the UK was at day 82, the country had 120,067 cases, with 5,850 new cases and 498 deaths on that day. The daily cases, which is the number of new people to catch the virus each day, shows a remarkable difference between the two countries. April 10th saw the UK's highest number of new cases at 8,681. This single day represents more than the accumulative number of cases in Morocco since the virus arrived in the country. On the same day, Morocco had just 74 new cases. The highest number of new cases in a single day in Morocco was on April the 17th, with 281 new cases. On that day, the United Kingdom got 5,599 new cases. As shocking as that may seem, the difference in death rates are even more alarming. In the UK, over 35,700 people have died from the virus. In Morocco, it's around 200. Morocco's highest death day was March the 27th, with just 12 deaths. On that day in the United Kingdom, 284 people died from the virus, more than the total number of deaths in Morocco. The day with the greatest number of deaths in the UK was on April the 21st, with 1,172 deaths. On the same day, just 2 people in Morocco died from the virus. COVID life is very different between the two countries. Although cafes, restaurants and bars are still closed in both countries, in the United Kingdom, the government is putting plans in place to reopen schools by the 1st of June for Year 1 and Year 6 pupils. Although in other parts of Europe, teaching unions have supported the reopening of their schools, in the UK, unions are firmly against schools reopening, despite social distancing measures being in place. Wearing masks is not compulsory in the UK, although people are encouraged to wear them on public transport. People are encouraged to work from home if they can. As a result, public transport has significantly reduced numbers. This is Euston Station, usually one of the busiest stations in London. Now, because of Covid-19, the station is almost empty. Whereas life in the UK is slowly returning to normal, or at least trying to do so, Morocco remains in lockdown, with significantly better statistics than the UK.